What is good, guys? Rags is back in this thing, man. I will not be doing my Alabama introduction or none of that stuff, guys. I just want to talk about the introduction to the 2024-2025 college football season. Ladies and gentlemen, it is amongst us, and we had a great game today with Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus the Florida State Seminoles. Guys, we have to give those guys, those Yellow Jackets, a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys was a severe underdog, man, if you ask me, man. 10 points, man. I mean, I don't know, man. They could have said at least 7-3, something like that, man. 10 points going all the way out, jet lag all the way to Ireland, man, playing at the Viva Stadium. Um, a lot of people counted Georgia Tech out. I must admit, I was one. I knew that it would be closer than 10 points, but I didn't think that they would beat them. I thought Florida State would be a little bit too much for them. But hey, man, that's what I'm telling you. Expect the unexpected. Georgia Tech knocks off a top 10 Florida State team. The ACC is wide open, baby, and Georgia Tech say, hey, we got something to say, baby. When you're talking about Clemson, you're talking about North Carolina, you're talking about Florida State. Don't forget about us, these Yellow Jackets. Let me tell you something about this game, the way it started, right? The way it started, both of these guys was running the football. Florida State was running that football, man. It was all over the place, man. They hit first, bam. Here comes Georgia Tech right back. They was running the football. The defenses was non-existent the first few series of this game, right? Then they got into a stalemate, 14-14. Then it was all defense, man. Defenses was scrappy. They was playing. Georgia Tech defense, they didn't look to have that size on them. If you look at Georgia Tech's defensive line versus Florida State's offensive line, I mean, those guys was massive. Florida State offensive line was massive, and I thought they were just going to eat up the whole defensive line, but those guys were scrappy. Number 44, Efer, I think his name is, that guy was a beast. He was all over the field. He was tackling everything that he can get his hands on. He is a tackling machine. Hey, Georgia Tech, you got you something there. And I want to talk about this quarterback, Haynes King, man. This guy, he was able to he dropped the ball a few times on the ground, but this guy was still successful at doing the things that he do best, right? That's running that football. There wasn't any big huge throwing plays. I mean, it was some there that got them where they needed to be. But, man, the ground game for both of these teams was pretty good, but Georgia Tech just seemed to inch out a little bit more than Florida State could handle. Florida State, this is not your year this year. When you look at the quarterback position and what you're going to need to win and be competitive, DJU is not that guy. I hate to tell you, but Haynes King was the best man on the field today as far as quarterbacks go. But let's talk about that running game. Jamal Haynes, that guy is something special. That guy's going to be all ACC. He's going to be the best running back in the ACC, man, unless these defenses come up and start playing better. Maybe that was a product of Florida State defense being that bad, guys. I don't know. But Jamal Haynes, I think, to me, he's the MVP of the football game. This guy cut up. I mean, he was just weaving through that defense, man, like a Lamborghini on the freaking Autobahn, man. This guy was just moving through that defense, man. Florida State, you got to do better than that. If you're going to be the ACC champion, which right now is looking like a tall task for you, you're going to have to do better than that. And the quarterback play, you're going to have to do something about that too. DJU is not that guy. He's not it. Georgia Tech, man, I told you in my earlier video, I said, hey, this right here, if you want to start it off right, beat Florida State. Now, here comes everything. Here comes the recruiting. Here comes Brent Key right now is looking like a genius, man. You go over to Ireland and you beat a top 10 team. This is a major upset right here. What does Florida State drop? I said earlier that Florida State could make the playoffs. I am recanting that statement. There's no more playoffs for Florida State after this game right here because Florida State is going to lose at least 3 or 4 more games. With a defense like that, and you playing like that, I know it's the first game of the season, but if you don't fix that leak quick, You guys are going to fall. You're going to lose a lot of. You're going to lose to Miami. You're going to lose a lot of games that you don't want to lose. You're going to lose the Florida Gators, and that's saying a lot. But I'm telling you, Florida State, if you don't fix that, this is a whole different team right here. This is not that team that lost to Georgia last year. Even though I mean that was a bad uh, loss. This is not that same makeup of a no. I should say the team before that lost that went undefeated. That's what I should say. The team that went undefeated, not the team that lost to Georgia because that was a depleted team. But these guys have had the whole summer, the whole fall, all of this stuff to get stuff together, and it just didn't look good at all. I mean, tackling was crazy. It was non-existent. Like I said, it was not there at all. So, guys, can Georgia Tech be the new team in Georgia? Could they be the kings of Georgia? Atlanta, Georgia, the best metropolitan area that you could probably live in the world right now. I guess. I don't know, guys. I'm just making up stuff when I say that. But what I would say is they're close, man. They're close. If they start getting some recruiting and stuff, because I'm going to tell you something. Listen to me close. The same way that Georgia Tech just did Florida State, Clemson is going to do Georgia Bulldogs the same way. I'm telling you, everybody's picking Georgia to be the king of the SEC and all that. Clemson is going to blow the top off of them. Hey, it's going to be just like this. Everybody's going to be holding their head like, what just happened? Because they're not the same team anymore. You don't have Brock Bowers. You don't have Ladd McConkey. You don't have any of those guys. I know, well, we just keep reloading. Yeah, we're going to see. That was Carson Beck's safety blanket, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey. You don't have that anymore. All the defensive players are gone. You're losing pieces on your coaches. Guys, it's just not the same anymore. And Kalen DeBoer is coming to take your head all the way off. Believe me when I tell you this. But that Ramblin wreck that's over there in Atlanta, Georgia, Bobby Dodd. Hey, man, I love everything you're doing, guys. Congratulations on your big win, Georgia Tech. Hey, I hope you have the best flight back. I hope you rock the airplane in the air. I hope you do some stunts in the air on your way back home to Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, keep beating up on those guys, Georgia Tech. You can be the king of the ACC if you keep it going, man. Shout out to all the Georgia Tech content creators, man. Shout out to the fan base. I mean, Florida State pretty much took over Dublin, guys. They took over Dublin. I've been to Dublin before, man. Lucky me, right? I've been over there to Ireland. I've been to Dublin before. It's an okay place, man. But hey, shouts out to the whole Atlanta, man. I'm gonna shout out all of you guys, man, the whole metropolitan area. Congratulations. I hope you guys party tonight. If you guys are Georgia Tech fans and recruits, start looking at Georgia Tech, man. These guys are feisty. Mr. Brent Key is building something over there. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't look over them over Alabama. But when you're looking at all these old Georgia Bulldogs and all these Florida State teams, hey, consider Georgia Tech. These guys are making some noise right now, guys. So, man, I got to get out of here. I got things to do. I got people to see. I got to get freshened up. I'm tired of being scruffy rags, but I know you love looking down into the depths of my eyes. Hey, man, I'm so excited that football is back. But I got to get out of here, man. Already. Yeah.